Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and today I'm going to be ranking every deck in the Destined Rivals format. Destined Rivals is bringing us a bunch of new trainers Pokemon. I did not make this tier list. I think this was made by Zapdos TCG, and it looks like all the new decks are trainers Pokemon, I think, on this list. I guess this is not trainers Pokemon, but it's not new. This is like kind of trainers as well. But anyways, I'm going to be ranking all the decks in the format. Honestly, I haven't really thought this through. Just kind of do it on the fly and giving my thoughts on what's going to be good and what's going to be bad. And this is the format that'll be starting very, very soon. And it has, this list doesn't have everything on it. For whatever reason, it's definitely missing a handful of good decks in some variations. So I'll talk about those variations. I don't think it has Stevens, which I think is fine. I don't think it's insane. I'd probably say it's like B tier maybe. I played with it some, but yeah, it's all right. It's not insane. I think it has untapped potential as well. But the untapped potential might not be tapped in the Destined Rivals format. It might need some more cards to come out as well, so that's fine. Not here. It doesn't have Misty's, which it isn't very good, but it's not here. It doesn't have Arvin's, which is probably worse than Misty's, which also isn't very good. There are some decks here that are definitely worse than it, I will say. But I think outside of that, this has everything. So let's start off with like the current standard decks. I'll start off with a stage 2 EX decks. I want to get all the ones I can find. I won't talk about the Rockets Crobat deck yet. But we do have a few new ones, a few older ones, and just a bunch of really cool decks to talk about here. Stage 2 EXs are, of course, still good. I'll talk about Gardevoir, I guess. It's very different, obviously, because you're not attacking with the Stage 2 EX, but we have Dragapult. I think Dragapult will be S tier still. I've been looking at some tournament results. It's been doing well still in Japan, so I mean, I'm assuming it's very good still. Not too much to really break down with Dragapult, but or there is stuff I could say about it, but pretty much all this stuff's already been said as well. So I'm not gonna say like Dragapult's really good. It is really good. But I'm not gonna like again break it down too much. I will say Drakeloak is very good, and that's an important part of the deck. It's not really gaining too many new pieces though. But in terms of new pieces, you could be playing some of the new cards. There is the Crobat line. There is also the Marcus Watchtower. I don't know exactly how good that card is, but it seems like it's like arguably good for Dragapult. Also, people theoretically might be less worried about bench damage because there is the Shaman protecting your bench Pokemon, but of course Dragapult goes through that, so that theoretically could be good for it, but I ultimately don't think it matters, but it's very good right now in Standard pre-rotation and very good post-rotation. Charizard, I think, isn't quite as good, but it's still very good. Compared to Dragapult, it's, good stats, right? Charizard DX has high HP, good damage, pretty self-sufficient. I think it's a little bit stronger than Mars Grimmsnarl EX. They're similar Pokemon. The Mars Grimmsnarl EX deck, I'll talk about that one as well with it. Was being played with Froslass. It's out in live already. I believe at the time of posting this, these cards aren't out except for the Marius and Steven stuff. So this one has been played some. I think it's a little overhyped. I think some people are saying it's like insane. I think it will end up seeing a good amount of play immediately. I mean, a lot of these decks will. I think it might end up seeing the most play from this set. I'm not sure, but it's had some success. It's had, notable success in Japan. I don't think it's insanely strong. Maybe I just don't want it to be strong because it's kind of annoying, but it's all right. I mean, it's Mario Style EX. It's kind of like Charizard DX. They're both self-sufficient, but it's not, taking big one-shots either. Overall, I think it's a pretty solid Pokemon. Munkidori synergizes pretty well with it. I don't think it's quite A tier. I mean, it might be, honestly. We'll be ranking them within the tiers. It's certainly not as good as Charizard. I'll put it in B tier. I'm just not really a full believer in the deck. I think it's good, but not truly insane. Then we have Slacking EX. Slacking EX is a pretty solid stats Pokemon. I honestly think it's decent. Honestly, the new stadium is like the card that makes people talk about it and play it. And it actually doesn't help out the deck that much. It's actually arguably not even that good for it. There are times when it might be bad, depending how you want to play it. But overall, it's a fine deck. It's a pretty solid stage 2 attacking Pokemon. I think it's not quite as good as the Marnish Grimmsnarl EX deck. I think it's okay, though. Not a deck so I'll break down the tiers actually real quick because S tier obviously like really good, A tier is still very good, and then B tier was like you could certainly play this and find success with it, but it's not like going to be the best decks in the game. Not really in that conversation. C tier is like not super impressive. Then we have this don't play this tier, which is pretty self-explanatory. You could play it if you want to because it's fun, but ultimately these decks aren't really very serious if you're looking to win games, and ultimately you probably will end up having a bad time playing with these decks because you're just going to lose a lot, unfortunately. Probably not set up. But anyway, Slacking EX is fine. Its stats are very strong. It's not like broken, but they are good. It will actually get a little better in the future as well. I think with the whatever the energy is called. I think ignition energy is the translation. It's like a pseudo reprint of triple acceleration energy. I think it will be pretty good for this deck. Not like breaking it, but I do think the deck and the card is good. Then we have Hydreigon EX. Hydreigon EX is like not super good. I guess I'll put it in wait, does it go in C? Does it go in don't play this? I guess it's C. Dragon EX is really clunky and hard to set up. And its payoff is like good, but actually it's like actually not even that good because of Shaman. So I actually wouldn't. No, I wouldn't say don't play this. I think people are going to play a lot of Shaman, and you essentially just won't be able to do anything even if you do set up because they'll just play down a basic Pokemon, and then you won't be able to knock it out, and so you can't use your Obsidian attack, which is like this big high commitment high payoff attack, which now loses all its payoff, so it's just like bad. And the first attack isn't very good. It's not like a terrible first attack there, but it's outclassed by I think every attack we've talked about so far. So it's a cool card. It's kind of fun, but I don't think there's actually any reason to play this unless people just aren't playing Shaman. But I think people are going to play Shaman, even if Shaman isn't good. I think people are going to play it a lot, and then you can't really beat Shaman, right? Then you have the new Cynthia's Garchomp EX deck. I think this deck is pretty solid as well. I think it's pretty comparable to the Marnie's deck. I've talked about this one a bunch, and I said that I think it's going to be better in the future, not with this set, so which I do stand by. I'll put it right behind the Marnie's deck, I guess. I'm not entirely sure. I've talked about like the newer decks, and none of them are truly insanely strong. But I do believe Cynthia's Garchomp EX will be very good at a point, but that point I don't think is quite yet. And it's a little clunky. It has like pretty solid payoff. It's like more a lot of pieces moving around, but I think it actually is pretty good. I'll put it in B tier. I above Minus Gumshell EX again. I think they're very close, but I like it. You can do good damage. You can do really strong damage, or you could do solid damage, and then you can also have a like pseudo engine going. Unlike Mario Scrum EX, I think Mario Scrum EX's biggest issue is like it's lacking consistency due to the fact that you're not really playing any engine like at all, and you're damaging your own Pokemon, so you need things going in the right way, which you can't always do. But the Cynthia's deck has the Cynthia's Goodbye, and it has Roserade to do big damage with weaker Pokemon that are single prizes theoretically as well. So overall, pretty well rounded and pretty solid. Gardevoir EX is pretty different than all these other decks because you're not attacking with the Stage 2 EX, but it plays it, and it's the main Pokemon in the deck as well, I suppose. So I'm going to put this one in A tier. I think it's not quite as good as Charizard going into the new format, though I think they are pretty close. I could very easily see it above it. I'm actually looking at results. It looks kind of close. Gardevoir is kind of above it. In standard right now, I think Gardevoir is better than Charizard, but I think Charizard's underrated. I think they're pretty close, honestly. Actually, no, I'll put Gardevoir above it. This isn't going to be ultimately a super crazy tier list or super revolutionary, but I do think that Gardevoir is a deck that is, still good, and you have Shaman as well, which actually is pretty meaningful. Barnes Gumshell actually does have Snipe, and actually mentioned that, but that will be shut off by Shaman, which is meaningful. It's not like the biggest deal because those Pokemon on the bench that you're going to be going after probably don't have abilities, honestly, if you're sniping them that are like low HP, so then you're not actually knocking them out super easily, and overall it's not like the biggest thing in the world, but I will mention that, and I think that is nice for Gardevoir with certain weaker Pokemon hanging out on your bench potentially. Then we have some other EXs. We'll talk about Stage 1 EXs now, I guess. There are a few of these. No, there's more than I thought. So there's a good few of these, and we'll talk about the basic EXs, and then we'll talk about the single prizes as well. Then we have, yeah, we'll just go in this order. So we have Blissey EX. Blissey EX, I think, is still fine. You still have Pokemon doing less damage. Generally, like, there aren't so many, like, one-shiny all the time, so you can, Blissey EX arguably can make the best use of Munkidori in the game when Munkidors are going, because you don't need, like, all these energies. You can just, like, have one or two and kind of pass them around using Blissey EX, which is, like, kind of cool. But you're not always tanking, but if Pokemon are doing less damage, like Mars Tombstone EX, for example, is a new deck, or Slacking EX also doesn't one-shot you, then you'll be having more chance to heal and do damage off of the Munkidori. So that's like kind of cool. And then, of course, you have like solid stats, but it's not insane. I'm going to put it in B tier as well. Ultimately, your damage isn't very high, and it's kind of awkward to attack with, so I'll put it in B tier. I'll put it actually at the bottom of B tier. I don't think it impresses to be that much. I think it's a cool deck with a theoretically high ceiling if you can get different attacking options going, but ultimately I don't think you will. Then we have Cellular GX. Cellular GX is also fine. I will put it in this same tier. It's still pretty good. Honestly, I'm going to put it at the top of B tier. Notably, it can take one shots on Pokemon and doesn't take, it's not as high maintenance as Goldengo EX, where Goldengo EX you need to use a lot of resources every turn to get the knockouts. Cellular GX you don't. You need to kind of use a lot of resources early on, and you won't necessarily get them as early, which is worse. It's better to get them earlier, but in the late game, you still will be able to do what you want to do. Hopefully, I think Goldengo is still good. I think it could be A tier. With Shaman well, you do have bench protection. It's not insane. I actually really like Sterile Eject. Now that I'm talking about it, I really like this deck in the new format. I think it could be A tier. I think legitimately it is very strong. It's a deck that's kind of slept on right now. I don't know if it's slept on in standard, but it's not like insanely strong. But I do like it. I do like what it has going for it. It's not insane. I could see it. It's like very close to Goldingo in my opinion. There are decks that I always compare as well whenever I'm talking about them. They're certainly not the same, but they have similarities. And yeah, I do like Sterilage. I think it's pretty good. Um, Pokemon are doing not necessarily enough to one-shot it, which is also pretty meaningful. So I do like it quite a bit here. Then we have our Caledon EX's list, or this image here has Team Rocket's Venture Bomb, which is a way to play it. Ultimately, I think its synergy within our Caledon EX is pretty weak. I still think our Caledon EX is a very good Pokemon, though. In standard right now, I do have it in that like S tier, or maybe that A plus tier if I was making my own list next to Dragapult EX, with the poison stuff. And I think the poison stuff is still really good for taking turn one knockouts. Looking at all these decks, they all have Pokemon that are pretty weak, right? They have like a Pokemon that you can knock out using Pekarunt, plus the stadium, so you can do that and take the knockout plus group on it. Turn one, it is a bit of a commitment. Regardless, this is our Caledon, but also Team Rocket's Venture Bomb. Ultimately, that means you're presumably playing Monkey Dory. Monkey Dory doesn't work very well in our Caledon EX, though, so I actually don't love this build. I will put it in A tier, kind of floating around here. I'll put it at the end of A tier. Again, I do think the poison build still will probably be better. The Team Rocket's Venture Bomb card is a really interesting card. It's a coin flip card that does damage. With Monkey Dory, it's actually not really a coin flip, so it's interesting. Not sure of its place just yet. I think it will. I'd be pretty surprised if it doesn't end up being a really powerful card. I was gonna say broken, not actually broken in power level wise, but like a card that feels kind of broken, like it's unfair to play against. Kind of like something like Dustmore. Obviously, it's weaker, but it is a card that, to me, reminds me of it because you can use it turn one going first as well. Again, not a broken card in terms of power. And I think with our Caledon EX, you're not making the fullest potential because you don't have perfect energy acceleration within the deck. Honestly, I think it's arguably better in something like maybe honestly Mario Scrum Style EX. I don't know. You don't really have the consistency to do it, but you could try that. I do like the Team Rocket's Venture Bomb, and I do like your Caledon EX though, and I think they're pretty good. Then I did not mean to put this deck here. I hope I didn't grab the wrong one. Maybe I did. Anyways, we have the Walls deck. We also have Iron Thorns EX. These are like kind of related here. The Walls Melodic EX deck is okay. It's not insane. It's kind of whatever. It'll go in B tier. I'll actually put it in the bottom of B tier. I think it doesn't really have anything it stands out with. And there's a lot of effects of attacks or like weird things that place damage counters, which will like kind of cut through you as well. They can use them. It's okay. They can also use Team Rocket's Venture Bomb. I'll move it up above Blissey. I do think Slacking X is a decent deck. I'll put it in the middle of B tier here. It's okay, nothing spectacular, but it's okay. You could play it. I don't actually think Crystal's very good in the deck either, not gonna lie, but it's okay. Then you have Iron Thorns EX here as well, the other like pseudo walling deck. I think Iron Thorns EX is pretty solid. Ultimately, the decks that are good in the game, Iron Thorns EX isn't like insane against. You look at like Gardevoir EX and like Gardevoir EX you shut down. The rest of the abilities you're good against that like you turn off, but you're not insane. And then there are decks that don't really use abilities at all. So I think it's pretty mediocre. I'm actually gonna put it in at the bottom of a B tier. I think it's not unplayably bad or anything like that, but ultimately it's a counter meta deck and it's not countering the meta super well right now. It's not abysmal against it, and I think is okay. Team Rex to Watchtower also shuts things down as well. So you have a lot of pretty nice disruptive options in the new set. The card is pretty decent and the deck is pretty decent, but not not quite as good as it has been. I mean, it was the best deck in the game at one point, but it's still pretty good. Then we have Enzoric EX. This deck is presumably still bad. I mean, I could put it in the don't play this tier, but it's not very good. That's pretty wait, no, I am going to put in the don't play this tier. I was going to say it has limited upside, which it does, but it's even more limited by N-Star Mantan not being able to hit through Shaman, which is like really bad. So overall, it doesn't really have much upside at all. The attacking options aren't very strong, and N-Star Mantan is losing value, which is like bad. So yeah, unfortunately, N's not very good. Never has been that good. Enzor EX, not a bad card. The Dronjin aspect is like really solid, but as an attacking Pokemon, it just doesn't really get the job done. Then we have the Flareon deck, the slash Sylveon deck. I think it's still not very good. I don't think it's like terrible either. I'm going to put it in B tier here, right in the middle of it. I think it's pretty mediocre. I think Dragapult will be played a little bit less as well. And you can one-shot Dragapult using Sylveon EX, which is kind of cool, but if there's less Dragapult, it's less useful. It's fine. Nothing spectacular. Pretty mediocre here. I think Terrabox. What is Terrabox not on this list? Okay, Zapdos TC. Wait, this is Zapdos TC. Where's Terrabox? Or am I just not like seeing things? I see Terrapagos. If we don't have Terrabox, I'll just use Terrapagos instead. So then we have the Team Rockets decks. We'll talk about. I'm fine with that. So we actually have, I think, three. We have four of them here actually. So we have the Team Rocket, like the regular Team Rocket deck. This deck's okay. I think it's a little weaker than the Stage 2 decks. It's okay. I think it has legitimate potential. Honestly, I'm not really sure on this deck because it's pretty different than other decks in Standard. It's kind of clunky, and you got a lot of things going on, but it is not bad either. I'll actually put it above Slacking EX. I think it's okay. Not a spectacular deck, but it's all right. Ultimately, if you're expected to be a deck that's insane, lower your expectations. It's not insane, but it's all right. You have Mewtwo, Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX, which has insane HP, and then you have a solid attack, and solid attacks all around with some versatility. So it has like the making to be a pretty solid deck. Nothing insane. I think it'll be a little disappointing to people who play it, but it's not a bad deck. It's okay. You got the Rocket Spite Ups to be a pretty neutral, like all right attacker as well. Then we have the Crobat Spite Off deck. I think these don't really have any synergy. I think they're kind of bad together, not gonna lie. So I say don't play this. I think the Rockets Crobat EX is actually a really cool card, and I think it's actually really interesting with the Rockets Arbok EX and in other things as well. Ultimately, though, I think that cowboy those two together is not good. I guess you could play it. It's not like as bad as the don't play this deck, so it's going to be countered by the best card in the new set, which is going to be played in like every deck because it's a new card, presumably. But Rocket's Crobat DX Rocket Spinops is mediocre at best. I think the synergy just isn't really there. The Rocket's Porygon Z deck, unfortunately, is pretty bad, right? It's a single prize deck. It doesn't do very much. It's like got a lot of pieces going, moving around, and it's not very strong, which is like bad, right? That's like really just bad all around, unfortunately. It's not the worst deck ever, but it's not very good, unfortunately. And in my opinion, not the best single prize deck from the set. I think Rocket's Weezing's better. This does like damage based on like Weezing's in play or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it does. I guess I should probably look. It's probably bad of me to just not look. But you have the Weezing, which says it does 40 for each Pokemon in play on either player's side, which is like kind of random because why would your opponent be playing random Coughings and Weezings? And if they're also playing Coughing and Team Rocket's Weezing, and then it gets, I was gonna say kind of weird, but you're always gonna aim for the knockouts, so kind of nothing will happen. But or you'll just be taking knockouts assuming you set up. But anyways, the card is like decently strong. And the Coughing helps you set up, and you can get like Weezing. I think you can get like regular Weezing. There is not a glaring Weezing in Standard, unfortunately, but it's still fine. Definitely an okay deck. I think it is like a mediocre single price deck, probably on the tier something like Mammosaur on EX. That's not here. I'd probably put it somewhere around here. It's not insane. Actually, I will put it above the Spite Ops Crobat EX deck, though I do think both Rocket Spite Ops and Rocket's Crobat EX are better cards. Then we have Festival Lead. I wouldn't recommend Festival Lead. Dragapult's bad for it. Actually, no, it's an okay spot in the middle. I will actually put in C tier. Charizard DX is going to be played more, and obviously Mario Scrimshaw EX is a new deck being added to the game with a new set. And yeah, you hit him for weakness. That's pretty good. It's not insane against those decks, though. It's pretty good against Charizard. I gotta assume it's probably okay against Mario Scrimshaw EX, though they do have spread, which can kind of pick you apart. But you can, one shot their two prize attacker, or functionally one shot their two prize attacker. So that's cool. Again, it's like fine. It's not actually very strong, but it's okay. Then we have some other decks to clean up here. We have Ethan's Typhlosion, which is, in my opinion, kind of weak. It's not terrible. I will put it in B tier. at the bottom of B tier. It's a deck getting a lot of hype. I just don't believe in the hype. I think it's a mediocre single prize deck. I think it's a little better than Festival Lead and the other single prize decks we've talked about, but it's not spectacular. Its damage is pretty solid, and it's relatively cheap, but it's still a little awkward to set up. Also, the Dunsparce engine, that's like not very good, right? It's not like unplayably bad or anything like that, but it's not a super strong engine. I'd actually probably would I recommend Enzor EX over it? I don't know. Enzor EX has big problems. Within this deck specifically, but in general as well. But you do need to get the Ethan's whatever they're called in the discard, and you need a bunch of Pokemon in play, which Ethan's adventure does help with, but it's not like smooth sailing either. The deck is okay. It's not terrible. I'm actually gonna move it up a little bit. I mean, I sound like super negative, and I don't think it's super good, but it's okay as well. For Alligator, I think it's still all right. If you know me, you know I really like For Alligator. It's a deck that I think a lot of people just don't really know how to play with. It's kind of hard to play with. It's not like impossibly difficult or anything, and I'm not the best player in the world or anything like that, but it's still pretty good. It's not insane though. I'm gonna put it kind of in this middle tier here, B tier. I don't think it's like insane. I think it's okay. I'll just, kind of pop it in the middle of a B tier here. Then we have some basic, yeah. Oh no, I'll finish the single prize next. So we got three of these. Okie dokie, like who's playing Okie dokie, right? I can't think of the last time I've seen this. Even looking at tournaments, I mean, I see it some, but not that commonly. Mostly in like GLC or something. Is it good? Not really, but I guess it's like better than nothing, I guess. I'll put it at the bottom of C tier. I don't really know how to evaluate this one, honestly, but I know it's not that good. Slow King is an interesting deck. It's like really high rolly and also really inconsistent, and also going after bench snipes. So I'll put it at the bottom of C tier. Theoretically, it has some potential, but honestly, it's pretty. No, I'm going to say don't play this because Kieran's like your main attacker. I think, arguably the main attacker, and it does not really do anything against Shaman. It can do kind of something sometimes, and most of the time it doesn't do really much of anything. So, yes, looking really awkward to set up. The payoff is lower than it was. It was a high payoff, like high risk, high reward deck. Now it's high risk, low reward, which is not where you want to be. Then we have Ancient Box. Ancient Box is okay, I guess. Who's playing this? I don't really know, but I'll put it at the top of C tier. It's an okay single prize deck. It's not going to get destroyed by anything, but it's probably not going to win either, which means that like that's not very good. But it's better than nothing, I guess. Yeah, Roaring Moon's pretty solid. I don't know why the Great Tusk is the secondary Pokemon shown here as well. I feel like Koraidon or something would be better. Anyways, not great. Not that Great Tusk is bad. I do like it. Anyways, then we have a bunch of basic EX decks here. I'll start with Future Box. Future Box is not super strong. It's not super strong against anything in particular. You could get things going really quickly and kind of overpower your opponent, but ultimately I don't think that's going to be happening. The deck's not that consistent. I mean, it's like decently consistent, but it's not like you're consistently having these turn two, turn three, turn four, like two price turns all the time. It's okay. I mean, I'll put it, I guess, at the top of C tier. It's nothing spectacular though. Joltik Box, if you know me, you also know I don't really like this. I don't think it's much better than Future Box. I think it's a little better. You do have Pikachu EX, four big knockouts and stuff. Is it better than Future Vox? I'm not a believer in this deck really at all. I think Joltik kind of gets melted by things, obviously, and then your other Pokemon also get melted by things. There's the Team Rocket's Venture Bomb, which cuts through Pikachu X. I'm going to put it at the top of C tier. I don't am a hater on this deck, but I don't really think it's very good. I think it's just worse than Terrabox. Oh, I said it was to make Terrapagos Terrabox because Terrabox is nowhere to be seen, despite presumably still being a top 10 deck post-rotation. In my opinion, it's a clear top 5 deck. The top 5 decks, in my opinion, standard right now are Dragon Ball EX, Gardevoir EX, or Caldon EX. But Terror Box, I was blanking on the one I just said, and also I don't remember what the fifth one is. I don't know why I'm blanking. Oh, Raging Bolt. There we go. It's right there. Yeah. So those, in my opinion, are the top 5, with the top 2 being Arcaludon and Dragapult. Although you could say Dragapult isn't a tier of its own. I personally think Arcaludon, though, still is a very good deck. But regardless, yeah, Terror Box is still really good. So I will talk about Terror Box now with Trapagos. They are pretty similar, honestly, and I think it's still good. I don't think it's insane. It's not like taking one shots all the time and doing everything you're looking for it to do. But no, I'll actually put it above Arcaludon. It's pretty close in my opinion. I'll leave it right here. It's still a good deck, but it's going to be getting knocked out by things more commonly. You look at like your Pokemon and like, what are you doing all the time? Some of your matchups are kind of awkward. Oh, also I forgot, Cynthia's Garchomp PX is weak to grass, so you have of course TMS Ogre Pontiacs for the grass weak Pokemon. You generally can go after a lot of things relatively consistently, but you're not always getting exactly what you need. Also, there are like more ways to deal with Pikachu EX as well, which makes it a little worse. So I will put it in A tier, but like at the bottom of A tier. It's still good, but not quite as good as it was. Raging Bull, I think, is still really good. I'm going to put it as the second best deck, actually. Now that I think about it, yeah, it's really good. I could put it behind Gardevoir. Gardevoir has one-shot potential, but there are certain spread options. It's kind of weird. There was Shaman, but there are still spread options, so Raging Bull can take one-shots, right? And it's not getting one-shotted. That's really good. Actually, no. I can't put it this high. I'm going to drop it one spot. It is being targeted by Team Rocket's Watchtower, which is kind of bad for it. It's not like it's being destroyed, but it's not great to get hit by Team Rocket's Watchtower. That's also true for Terrabox, but I think it still will stay in this spot. It definitely hurts the deck, but I think it is still very, very strong. I mean, its raw damage is the best in the game. Oh, I don't know if it, like, Sarah EX, Golden EX can also take one shots, but Reachable EX can do it faster as well on a basic. So it is very strong still. Ethan's Ho EX. This is the Mag Cargo deck. Oh, there's not Arm Rouge box. Okay. So Ethan's Ho EX with Mag Cargo is cool. I think it's not as fun as the Firebox deck, but honestly, it's probably about the same power level. So this deck is okay. I'll put it at the top of like somewhere in C tier, right on here. It's a really cool deck, or it's not like super cool. It's kind of cool. Ethan Sowiak's is a really cool Pokemon. Your Accelerated Energy can do big damage. It's kind of like, honestly, kind of like Raging Bull, except like worse. You are doing like one shots, but your main attacker is a stage one single prizer, and you need all this energy, and you need to use these specific Pokemon. Where your Ethan Sowiak is kind of like TMS Ogre Pontiacs, except it has to go to another Pokemon. It doesn't draw. So yeah, I don't think it's very good, unfortunately. It's kind of cool, but not going to be that strong. We have the Roaring Mooniac deck with Pekkaron. I think it's okay. I think it's a little weaker. I don't know. I'll put in like B tier here, somewhere around the middle of that. It's nothing spectacular. It's fine. It's like still good. Being able to one shot everything, and your like both types are pretty good. But and the poisons are good, but it's not insane in my opinion. Also, you are grass weak. There's becoming a lot of grass weak decks in the game right now as well, which is something that does hurt you a little. Then we have Hops, Zasha, and EX, which is obviously not that good still. It's on don't play this or anything like this. I guess it's like bottom of it's top of seed here. I mean, it's like relying on the sniping. I know it's even below. It's below this deck. It's like here. It's a cool deck, but it's not very good. Again, it is sniping based, and Shaman stopping it, and it just doesn't really have that much of a place in the game. If you're looking for decks to use Monkey Dory, it's not great. If you're looking for decks to use Arcaludon, it's not great. Like there are better options for both of those. If you're looking to use Matang, I guess it might be the best Matang deck. I don't really know what the Matang decks are though. It's a it's a fun deck. It's cool, but most of the traders Pokemon aren't that good. I do think that a second wave of them is better. I mean, there's more of them. There are some that are worse as well, but there's some that are better. But tell me down below what you think of the new format. If you're excited for it, because I am, but who knows how it'll go. But I hope you enjoyed. Consider liking, subscribing, hitting the bell, all the good stuff. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.